Welcome to the University of Michigan Dentistry Podcast Series, promoting oral health care worldwide.
We're going to prepare this maxillary cuspid for a porcelain metal restoration. The first step is to scribe the cervical limit of our finish line a millimeter above the plastic shroud. Now this is necessary in the laboratory situation to facilitate preparation on this plastic model. In a clinical situation, in the mouth, we would prepare this finish line under the soft tissue because of aesthetic reasons. Now we will make the first cut with our diamond at the cervical limits of this pencil line. We'll be using a round diamond for this purpose, and we will bury the diamond to the shank. What this will do then is give us a depth guide that is approximately 1.25 millimeters in depth. So the first cut will be at the very cervical of the preparation. A second cut will be made along the labial surface to the incisal edge. And a third cut will be made horizontally in this particular position. This will give us 4 islands that will subsequently be reduced with a carbide burr. The diamond is buried to the shank, as you see here. I'll turn it around so you can see it from this direction. This will give us then a cervical cut roughly 1.25 millimeters in depth. The next cut will be made along the labial surface. And then a cut horizontally in this position. Now we have the 4 islands that are left. In some cases, this round diamond can be used to open up the proximal areas, and also can be used to make notches on the incisal for incisal reduction. Pencil mark will show the cuts a little bit better. We will take a 170L carbide and reduce the islands that we have left here on the labial surface. We'll start at the incisal and reduce the labial surface to the depth of the tracer cut. This reduction, when we remove the roughness from the initial diamond cut, will make a reduction on this labial surface of approximately 1.5 millimeters. We have now 2 planes that we have to establish on this labial surface. This first cut, as you see here, and a second cut, which will be the cervical half of the tooth, which will be in this plane. This will maintain the curved labial surface that we started with. Now, if we can take a look at this on the profile, you'll note that there is a definite curvature to this labial surface. Now we will refine the shoulder slightly. I'll tip the patient back just a little bit. Using a light touch, the cervical can be refined. The shoulder need not be as deep on the distal portion of the preparation as it is on the mesial. It's important to have more porcelain in this area of the preparation than it is back in this area because of the optical properties of porcelain and the optical quality of the porcelain that we want to develop in this portion of the tooth that you see when the patient smiles. It's not necessary to have as much reduction on the distal because this does not show. Next, we'll take this diamond and open up the interproximal areas. This can be directed both from the labial or the lingual surfaces. It's important not to notch the adjacent teeth, so we'll very carefully open up this area so that the lateral incisor is not reduced at this particular time. And then we will do the same on the distal surface. Now we reduce the incisal edge roughly 2.5 millimeters, and we use the same diamond for this purpose. By making a notch that is 2.5 millimeters in depth, we reduce the incisal edge to that depth, maintaining the original incisal contour of the cuspid tooth. Now we'll place the lingual finishing line, the chamfer finishing line, with this diamond, utilizing a mirror. A light touch. We very carefully air on that. Okay. Place a chamfer finish line and very carefully now develop the chamfer in the interproximal that is so necessary to give us bulk to the casting. And we'll bring it around to the interproximal on the mesial. Developing a slight chamfer on the distal surface here. The lingual surface of the cuspid is reduced with this egg-shaped diamond that fits nicely into the lingual concavity. The preparation will be refined with a 170L carbide, and then the shoulder can be further finished with a Wiedelstadt, and the very corner of the shoulder, this very edge where there's unsupported enamel, can be beveled with the Wiedelstadt by just dragging it across that surface, as you see here. A very fine bevel can be placed in this way. And I'll take this to the mesial, and you should be able to see just the slight breaking of that corner that we are able to obtain with the Wiedelstadt. This is also possible with a Carlisle Bastion file. The Carlisle Bastion file, as you see, has fine serrations on the very end of the file, and this can be used to also make this bevel and further refine the shoulder. And by pivoting on the tooth itself, that little bevel can be placed on the shoulder. Now we will remove the roughnesses from the preparation with a medium sand disc. The roughnesses and striations in the preparation can make minute undercuts that could spring the casting. So it's important to smooth the preparation so that all these roughnesses are removed. And we will do this very carefully, coming from the mesial, removing any of the roughnesses, being careful not to obliterate our finish line. And the same thing is done on the distal and lingual. Now, if we look at the finished preparation, we should review the criteria that we follow to get an adequate preparation. We have 1.5 millimeters of reduction over the entire labial surface, trying to maintain the curved labial surface. We have 2.5 millimeters reduced from the incisal edge to allow translucency of the porcelain in the restoration. We have approximately 1 millimeter reduction on the lingual surface. We have a chamfer established on the lingual and into the interproximal tissue. We have a bevel placed on the line angle of the shoulder, placed with either a Wiedelstadt, Carlisle Bastion file, or a finishing burr. This should allow then the proper fusion of a porcelain to metal restoration.
You've been listening to a presentation from the University of Michigan School of Dentistry, which is dedicated to supporting open learning and open educational resources. This recording is licensed under the Creative Commons. It may be reused and redistributed for nonprofit use. Please attribute materials to the University of Michigan School of Dentistry and redistribute under this same license. For more information on how this and other University of Michigan School of Dentistry recordings may be used, visit www.dent.umich.edu/license. Listening to a presentation from the University of Michigan School of Dentistry, which is dedicated to supporting open learning and open educational resources. This recording is licensed under the Creative Commons. It may be reused and redistributed for nonprofit use. Please attribute materials to the University of Michigan School of Dentistry and redistribute under this same license. For more information on how this and other University of Michigan School of Dentistry recordings may be used, visit www.dent.umich.edu/license.